welcome to Matters Arising today. But before that Matters Arising, part of it is some breaking news. All is not still well with ADC. Some, will I call them, faction of the state chairman are coming up and saying that this is not what we bargained for. He's saying that this violent takeover of ADC doesn't go down well with them. Now, let me read some excerpt of the Benue State chairman, and what he's saying. He said, we unequivocally condemn in the strongest term this desperate power grab, which represents not only an aberration of the democratic norms, but also a grave assault on our collective values as a nation. Philip.
Yes, good afternoon, viewers. It's interesting to have this in ADC. You see, this is the common thing to all political parties these days. First and foremost, let me put it on record that there is nowhere in any of the political parties in Nigeria Constitution that a forum of chairmen is recognized. So anybody who is coming under the platform forum of state chairman, it's not known to law as far as the party's constitution is concerned. This is exactly what played out in SDP, where one Mr. Femi, who called himself Ferrari, the Honorable Ferrari, claimed to be the chairman of the state chairman of SDP and parading himself as if he's the national chairman of the SDP. So these are, you see, when you see this kind of thing, you hear the voice of Jacob and you see the hand of Esau. Where is it coming from? Where has it been before now? Because the party has been unveiled since, like 2 months ago.
Yes.
Why is it just waking up from his slumber now? You see, it's all orchestrated. Some people just come together and say, oh, well, a forum of state chairman. Where is he recognized by the party constitution? In the first place, is he the mouthpiece of the party? Who is he to speak on behalf of ADC? These are the questions I'd like to be asking themselves when these kind of people come on air. And in fact, the media outlet, to ask before they go to the market with this kind of news, they should ask the people what is their constitutional stand, what their legal stand of speaking for the party before they take their matter to the market. Somebody just come and say, I'm this and that. I mean, yes, it's now the news that is breaking news that it's not well with ADC. Granted, fractures are bound to happen, but the fractures will come from people who have the legitimate right to express their grievances, not people who do not have the constitutional right.
I'm going to stay with you a little bit. Now, this chairman, because it's a chairman of chairmen.
Yes.
This chairman, where did they meet?
Exactly.
Where did they speak?
That's the question.
Who assigned this position to him as the spokesperson? How did they get here? These are questions that before we go to the press, we should be learned enough to ask these people. I want you to speak on that.
You see, this is what played out in SDP. The so-called Femi Onani, alias Ferrari, will just sit in his hotel room, purport a news and put it on the air that the state chairman has met and agreed, and then television
stations
we pick it up without asking questions. Who are the state chairmen? For crying out loud, Nigeria is 36 states plus FCT 37. These state chairmen, how many of them were there when these statements were being made?
Exactly.
For instance, in this side of ADC, he claimed that he's the chairman of the chairman of the chairman forum and the publicity secretary, and the two names tend to come from one particular place.
That's Benue State.
Benue State. So how is it that the chairman of the chairman is from Benue State,
the publicity secretary is from Benue State?
Because the publicity secretary should also be a state chairman also, because
from somewhere else.
Being elected to hold that office. So, in fact, I'm appealing to the media outlets, both the blogger and all the rest of them. When this kind of, you don't mislead the public. When people come with piece of news to you, try and be investigative journalism. Try and investigate. You ask the person a little bit of question, not because they brought the paper for you and with a brown envelope, you go to an end to mislead the people. It's not right. We are not helping this country. You are not helping democracy. Allow ADC to thrive. If they want to fail, let them fail
on their own.
Yes, not to try. You know, I don't want to speak whether government is possible or not, because you have said, here I am, send me. There are a lot of people like that because there's hunger in the land. But the fourth estate of democracy, which is journalism, they should do their best. The media, they should do their best to ensure that the news they show out to the public are fitted.
Alaji, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It has become a norm these days for you to just see a lone voice speaking. Someone we have never known, someone we have never seen, someone that doesn't have an authority, someone doesn't have a constitutional power. The other day, it was one dude from Bauchi or so. I can't remember whether it's Bauchi or Gombe. Said that he is the one that is now taking over the seat of the chairman of ADC, and the whole Nigerians were listening to him until only God know what happened. He all by himself now wrote a letter and said, "No, I've resigned from that position." Where do these people come out from?
Okay, so for me, I'm never surprised. I've always expected this. I've said it over time here that Nigeria is a country where you get surprises. Now, if ADC, like we keep saying here, if ADC doesn't have that marching power, all this controversy will not arise. Now, it is not surprising that you see or you hear things coming from people who are working on. You said the voice of Jacob, the heart of Israel. I've seen that earlier before now. What were you expecting? It happened in Labour Party, and because of the relevance of Labour Party, everybody wants to be part of it. And how do they become part of this thing? It's by just creating some chaos. And I can tell you from my own part that this is the handiwork of the ruling party, just to create confusion here and there. But amidst all this confusion, you still see the ADC standing strong. Now, Nigerians should get to a point where understand that if we're getting something good, let's give ourselves the support to achieve that. And it's obvious that the ADC is working towards that part. And that's why you are seeing confusion like this. If there is no confusion, it means that the ADC has nothing to offer. For this confusion to start coming up now at the early stage, then you should understand that they have a lot to offer. I'm not surprised that this chairman of, you said something constitution that they should first go and vet the constitution before you check. Let me tell you the truth. It is only in Nigeria you see PA, SA to SA of SA of SA. Are they constitutional? That is what you see. Chairman of chairman. Who made them chairman of chairman? They will just come up because everybody wants to be relevant. And how do they get their relevant? By following the trend that is making wave. And what presently in Nigeria, if you mention ADC, the first thing you think of, you are thinking of Peter Obi, El-Rufai, and Amaechi Atiku. So what do you expect? These are the people making waves. So why not put them in disarray? And how do you put them in disarray? It's by hitting some urchins, I'm sorry to say, but giving some people, empowering some people that you don't know. They do want to be relevant. ADC is popular. So what do you expect? Even every media house want to be popular. The moment you talk about Peter Obi, your news catch fire. You mention ADC now in Nigeria, you don't need to go deeper. You just need to just put it out there and people want to follow it. So for now, the only thing we can say is let's fold our hands and watch while the drama unfolds. I just like I'm folding my hand.
The relevance, first of all, who sponsored these people? That's number one. Because we must begin to think that it should not be like a charade of charlatans. Do you understand? There's something I normally say that they said evil prevail in society when good men fold their hands and do nothing. Because these people are charlatan. We're a country of more than 200 million. We're a constitutionally banded country. By that I mean that is ruled by a constitution. We're a country that practices democracy. We're a country that is governed by arms of government and levels of government. That's what we rule by. Do you understand? From nowhere, one, I don't want to use some foul language, will just come up, and a country of intellects, right? Professors, we will just be listening to one person when no go school.
Sorry, sorry, let me say something to you. Where was ADC? Even where Labour Party, a party nobody gave chance. Where was ADC in the last election? Have you gone through their results the last election? Have you checked through even in the state and the local government, even to the National Assembly election? Well, a Labour Party that even nobody give them opportunity or give them a chance. Look at what they did. So where was they during the last election? But now, because of the relevance, that's why you can see people coming out. They want to buy into it. It baffles me when the like of Kachuku came out and said that they hijacked it. These are some of the things that the other people are Kachuku, they silent his voice when he came out to say that ADC is being hijacked, that the former the interim chairman had his tenure at the last, he's no more the chairman. So this other one down, so okay, this Kachuku he was their presidential flag bearer. If Kachuku can talk and somehow, let's also rise up. You will see more people will rise up. More people will rise up. So forget whether we have professors. Don't we have sons in Nigeria? What have they achieved?
No, the question you ask is, who are their sponsors?
Yes.
Why is it that a country that is governed by law is becoming a banana republic? The answer is simple. Who are the sponsors? The sponsors are enemies of progress, enemies of democracy, who are wolf in sheep's skin. They pretend to be Democrats, but they are true dictators and authoritarians. They don't tolerate any decent voice. These are their sponsors. What are they trying to do by popping up all of this? It's simple, Yes, I agree with him that people want to be relevant, but to a large extent, that is not it. It's to ensure that there is no credible platform for those persons who have the capacity to challenge and uproot these evil men in power. So the only thing they could do is to starve them of platform. It's like I said, that is all known to everybody. PDP and Labour were in the forefront. These were the first two targets. Having finished with PDP and Labour, it became clear that El-Rufai left APC and went to SDP. They saw danger in SDP. They went into SDP. Mm-hmm. They are still in SDP. These guys are smart. They went to ADC and they obeyed ADC. Before they knew it, they obeyed ADC. Now, they are not still resting their oars. Oh, they've obeyed ADC. They are now looking for those miscreants they can use. Don't forget that, poverty has been weaponized. People are hungry. The level of inflation is high. Who is this? Like I said, chairman of chairman. Who elected him? On what authority is it standing? Like I said before, show me one party constitution that recognizes a forum in their provision of the constitution that there will be a forum of chairmen and there shall be elected chairman of chairmen and officers within and among the state chairmen. Show me where it is in any of the party constitution. So what do they do? Like he said, when I mentioned that it's not constitution, I said in this country does constitution matters. Where in the constitution that you have PA to PA, SA to SA to SA to SA to SA. So if you say that this country is a country that is governed by law, what has happened to the law that is governed this country if people are not doing this outside the law, in aberration? Because a governor cannot appoint an essay to the governor, and that essay will now appoint and appoint and appoint.
And the essay of that essay will appoint essay.
And they still be paid from the government coffer without big question. So these are the issues. So we are in a very, interesting time. That is why the opposition, those men who have taken it upon themselves to say that they are coming to rescue this country and to liberate this country, they shouldn't rest in their oars too. Because as the hunter is, practice to shoot without missing, the monkeys will also learn how to jump without pressing. So that at the end of the day, the monkeys will outsmart the hunter, so that there will be peace in the forest.
Okay, all right. We will stay with that story. We'll be monitoring it and see how it comes up. But I don't think it has any basis at all that we should give a good relevance to it. I think we should learn to jump past this kind of.
But we just did actually. Yes, we just you actually wanted to say this, but you said it now, and we just did.
We just did. Give it relevance.
Because there are certain things
we are blaming the media outlet. We are
doing. So if you called me, I wanted also to note one thing, and I wanted to tell you earlier. These people know that they will get the response, and whether we like it or not, we are doing it. And let me also state it. Like I always say, this table look like a prophetic table. I want to say this. This is just like half of millions that will come out towards the build-up of the election. More will come. And this time, the crisis will be financial crisis. You hear now that financial crisis rock ADC.
Yes.
You hear that. You even hear that one of the senior member of the party was caught in bribery and corruption. You hear that they carry somebody's wife. So don't worry, many will come up. Yes.
Okay, all right, let's move a little bit. Some worrisome story from Rivers State. I mean, they said there were crises in Rivers State and critical infrastructures were being blown up, and as a result of that, a state of emergency was declared in Rivers State. All of a sudden, there was Ibas coming in as administrator. Then all of a sudden, he started dismantling the structure set by an elected democratic governor of Rivers State. Removed the members of the electoral body and set up another one. Put caretaker committee there. What we say is unconstitutional. Then now they are conducting election in Rivers State for the local government. These things are absurd.
Yes, you see, for the first time in a very long time, the IPAC, that is Inter-Party Advisory Council, stood on the part of the people. That is the role that is expected them to play. The chairman, Giwa, has told the world that Ibas lack the constitutional power to conduct election in Rivers State. That the only role he has to play in Rivers State is to keep peace, to ensure there's peace, so that when he restores peace, his assignment has ended and the elected government will come back to take their seat. That he went further to explain that, look, if Ibas feel he had power to conduct election, let's look at the constitution and the Rivers State, House of Rivers State local government law. That is very clear that the law says that the governor of a state shall have power to constitute an electoral body, and these people he appointed, they are to be screened and confirmed by the State House of Assemblies. That if Ibas said, okay, he's constituting a rec to conduct election for Rivers State, which House of Assembly confirmed the appointed member? Is he elected governor to appoint? That whatever thing Ibas think he wants to do, and if he goes ahead and do it, it's illegal, not and void from the beginning, and that's what it is. So I'm very, very happy with this development. It shows that the Nigerian people are finding their voice at last, because it is believed that these IPAC people are extension of government in power. The government just settle them. They do government bidding both at the federal and the state level. But Giwa had proved, this to be wrong. That they are men of their own. That they still have their voice. He has written to all political parties in Rivers State to stay away from that local government election. That anybody that partake in that election, that we had IPAC to deal with. That the IPAC is not part of that local government election, because the man that is in the saddle at the moment lacks the constitutional power to conduct the election. I think it's a welcoming development.
Actually, what's more worrisome to me is, elders don't sit over a house and allow children to disrespect other elders. We can't have a Democrat or a president that was elected by popularity. Forget all the hula baloo. He won election, he's at the saddle as a president, he fought for democracy. That's the information we have. He's allowing an unconstitutional body to govern. In fact, he elected it, and also to govern this state for this long. And it looks as if the voice of the people is being quieted by this authority. And now they are going this far. I mean, is this still democracy in Rivers?
Well, I think it's very clear. Just like the vice president said, the vice president gave a subtle dive at the president.
Yes.
Whether you like it or not, that was what he did. For him to have mentioned during his tenure as a governor in Borno State, giving reference to what would have happened to him, it easily and simply buttresses what is happening in Rivers. Because if you have a listening president, according to him, if you have a listening president and you have people who understand the law, who understand what the rule of law says, then by now I think the suspension would have been lifted. But because I'm so sad when I say that around this present administration, they are full with sycophants. The people that, it's so annoying that people can come out and argue what is glaring to
Everybody.
Like you come out and you give a reason why this should stand, something that is tagged an anomaly. You come out and say, yes, it should stand. But Giwa is somebody that is very vocal. Victor Giwa is somebody that is very vocal. And for him to, right from the day that the sole administrator in River was sworn in, he has been speaking. And for him to have said it, the election is August 30th.
Yes.
Yes. And constitutionally, it should not stand. So if some people who don't have an idea of what the law says can also come out to say, I'm not saying he doesn't know, I'm saying there are people, some of us don't know the law more than some of the people who are in the law, corridor of the law. But we've gotten to a point where we sit back to read and understand the law. If the law said this cannot happen, why can't the people in power respect the law? That brings us to the point where I said, in this present dispensation, it has proven that Nigeria, the disregard for the law is high. Because first and foremost, you check the emergence of this state of emergency. Is it constitutional? Is it right? It might be constitutional, but how right is it? Was it out of place? You ask yourself this question. Then, okay, let's assume that they missed it. But you have people telling you coming out to tell you the IPAC, they come out, other body.
The vice president.
The vice president. I made emphasis.
Yes.
I kept laying emphasis on the vice president. It shows that even the vice president is against it. Now, if people have come, sometimes you make mistake. You are not aware. You don't know you make mistake.
Innocent mistake.
Then somebody now tell you. People start. You go back. Is it true? No. But when you are adamant, you were not aware. You don't know you made mistake. They now told you make mistake, and you just become very obstinate. You just want to stand there and say, "I have the power. I'll do it." Respect of rule of law in Nigeria is long gone. People don't. That's why the common man will look at the ones on top and say, if you cannot obey the law, what do you expect me to do? I think it behoves on the presidency, especially the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to just look at these things and then call his people to order. If nobody is advising him, he should advise himself, because anything that goes wrong will not be on Nigeria. It will be on the president. People will just look at the president and say, you failed during your time. This and this were what you did that were not right. You cannot come out tomorrow and want to defend. And because most times when they leave power, they want to be statement and they want to start saying this is wrong. When you are there, that's why I don't hold whatever some of these our leaders who have left power, what they do after service, when they come to advise, they come as advisory body and they start advising. When you were there, what happened? Did you do this thing? Did you uphold the rule of law? So these are some of the things.
Now, let's look, before we leave these particular matters arising, let's look at the legislative arm that is supposed, in quotes, to be supervising the administrators of rivers. That's the House of Rep. Are they aware, or do they just want to turn their eyes some other place and move on?
You see, it's becoming very interesting in the first place. Why would he had allude and make so much analysis on if a man make mistake, how he should retrace his steps. You understand? You are asking whether if the House of Representatives, who now saddle with the responsibility of legislating for the Solad of Rivers, if they are aware of this election. I wouldn't say no, neither will I say yes. The reason is this: a budget was presented to the National Assembly.
Yes.
And the budget was passed. Where is the Solad going to have money to conduct the election? It's from that budget. So it should be an item in the budget. That's why I don't want to say no, expressly say no.
Okay, so let me come in. Yeah. So they said at first that this budget that was presented to the National Assembly, yes, the House of Representatives, yes, is supposed to be implemented by Fubara when it comes back. So you could give them a benefit of doubt that they saw it there. Of course, by now the Solar to be getting ready to back.
Let me just comment.
Yes.
See, that is the aberration we are talking about. That's the rule of law he complains of. Why will the House of Rep pass a budget for the Rivers government? What will be the function of the House of Assembly when they are restored? That's aberration. That's going outside their power, outside their jurisdiction. Their duty is to ensure that the period that this man is there, they should make money available for the man to ensure there's peace is restored to River State, and not to make a budget for the governor that was removed from office to come and spend. What is the function of the State House of Assembly? So you see, you ask yourself this question. So that is why I said, when you ask me the question, the singer said, if you ask me, who will I ask? So you see, we have so misbehaved in this country. We have so abused the law, especially those in power. We have so that's why they said, if somebody says Nigeria is a failed country, the person is not too far from the truth. When somebody says Nigeria is in the Banana Republic, the person is not too far from the truth. Because, like he said, those who are supposed to know the law, they are in the corridor of power. they do everything possible to abuse the law. So what happened? That is why the common man driving on the street saw a traffic light stopping him. He blows over so long as he can maneuver his way, because that's what those in power are doing. So where do we go from here? So when you say is the House of Rep aware, I mean you can't exonerate them because they passed the budget for him.
Okay, all right. We will know. I don't know if Giwa has gone to the court to try to stop the.
He need not go to court. He need not go to court. He has made a statement. The law is clear. Why should he go to court? He has said it. Whatever if he goes ahead and conduct the election,
it's an illegal election.
Not avoid when the new governor, when the governor elected by the people comes in, he can do anything to that election because it is not recognized by law.
Of course.
You don't need to go to court to go and waste his time and resources. Because the law is very clear. Because for you to constitute a REC in a state, you have to present the name to the national, the state house for screening and confirmation. Where did he get that from? That law has put everything into as nonsense. Where does it derive its power from to appoint a REC for River State? We are not even talking about the election. Because that's the foundation.
A lot of issues in Nigerian politics. Now, I think what the government of the day should be doing is to govern and give Nigerians an atmosphere where policies, formulation are implemented in a very conducive atmosphere. But it has not been like that for a while. Not too long ago, INEC came out and said campaigns are too early. People should shut down. To me, where was INEC when all these campaigns started a long time ago? Now, the Hakeem Baba-Ahmed reveals the strategy. I mean, there was a gathering of political gladiators, especially from the executive that is being in power from the north. They gathered at the Arewa House and they try to listen to the voice of the people. Is it coming late or is it okay?
You see, Hakeem Baba-Ahmed is somebody that become Nigerian, somebody beloved to the Nigerians today because he's a man who will come out and tell the Nigerians the truth about the happening in government. The good thing is that I think he's one of the top men in the Arewa group. I can't remember his position at the moment. He said these people came, what did they came to do? They came to see how they can woo the north. In fact, they were they were given a marching order. The top men from the north that in this administration having discovered that the north is disenchanted with the government. They needed to go and, woo them, by telling them the achievement of the government. One of the persons that spoke in that, gathering was Nehru Badu, the NSC.
Yes.
And if you look at Hakeem Ahmed, appraiser of his speech, he took him up when he said 11,000 kidnapped victims have been rescued. He said, wait a minute, where does these people have the power from to kidnap thousands of Nigerians? Where were the security agents? Where was this Nehru Badu and his men when 11,000 plus? Because when you say 11,000 has been rescued, how many thousand more are in the hands of the kidnappers? So what were you doing for these terrorists, this kidnapper, to be able to kidnap thousands of people, and you are coming to tell us that you have rescued 11,000 victims? It shows that
with pride.
With pride, you are not doing anything. He also said that on that day they were making that presentation or making those arguments. About 34 persons were slaughtered in Zamfara and Kebbi. That these people could not muster the strength to even voice it out. He went further to say that these people that came to the Arewa House to speak, they were speaking to the elite. The masses who are suffering, who are the victim, the true victim of the policy of this government, they are not aware. They were not part of this consultation or discussions. You understand? So when you look at what happened in that area, SARS, it's nothing but a campaign. We have always said that this government do not do anything governance but to campaign. Everything they do is politics, to play politics with everything. Everything. And he said the action of the government could be lacking to two things. Either they are realizing the importance of the northern region, or they are coming to, to make the North know that they have been working for them, and then for them to realize that this is what we have done. But I say on both sides, it doesn't add up. So I think I want to agree with Hakeem Baba-Ahmed.
Now, stay with Hakeem Baba-Ahmed. What the government is doing is trying to make excuse or looking at things that they've done that they've not actually done, and in romancing did not. Now, the way it is, the government of the day thinks right now that they have gotten the south, east, south, and southwest. And to fill in the gap for them, they need to also get the north. Whether it's west, whether it's east, whether it's central. Are they doing a good job with this?
Just recently, we had the discussion here where the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, had a meeting with former speakers of from the North, legislators.
Yes.
Legislators from the North.
So that is indeed a move. You understand?
Yes.
So what they do is get these people, talk to them. They have their followers, and I'd like to correct something. Elections, the day we finish election, general election, if you go to the part of the North, from Kaduna, Sokoto, Zamfara, Kebbi, every part of the North, they are still campaign. They still campaign. So for INEC to say that campaigns are too early in the North, they campaign every day, because you don't know who this people, and most times you see them in the North, people just realize that Philip will vote for you next time, even without him coming out. So for them now to start wooing the North is not a new thing. Because just recently, the president appointed some members, some key men from the North, making them board members, directors. The son of the former head of state, General Babangida, was appointed. And even though there was a circular that came out that he never accepted it, and it was refuted. Now, what am I saying? Now, the North, politics in the North is a daily thing. It's like their daily lives. So if they are feeling marginalized at a point, it's because if you look at recently, you only realize that some of the big weight in the North are forming alliances here and there. So it's only important for the present government to look at themselves and checkmate and say, if we are losing this set of people, what do? These people have their followers. The like of Atiku. Atiku goes anywhere in the North now, is like you are ready for a stampede. Erfai, Lamido, and what they call them, Tambua, they still have they are relevant. So it's only expected that you do everything to wake up the ones that people think they are weak. Wake them up. Bring these other men to form alliance with them. Let's talk to them. Men, you have to wake up. We don't know what you do, but anything you do, let's sell this administration to your people. And that is what is happening. Like I said, if you go to the North, anytime, any day, politics is still there. There is no time you expect to say, maybe we're expecting at the end of the day, one of these days, the Northerners before election, unlike you go to the Southeast, the South, you see they are waiting for a specific time where you say, okay, we can start campaigning. In the North, just come out, you see people gathered, we are coming to your place, you see them all around, they are expecting politics. It is their way of life. So it behoves on the government now of the day to do their homework, because the when the president was in Kanu, was it Kanu or Katsina? Where they were saying they were not expecting him, they were not happy to see him. So they go back, sat down with the members. What is happening? Are we not accepted in that part? So they have done their own analysis and realized that if we continue like this, these people might not accept us because the acceptance in the north is gradually declining. So what do you expect?
Now, Philip, good products sell themselves. The president is trying to gag other political parties and make them irrelevant. Not just only irrelevant, and also make sure that candidates do not arise or come out from those political parties. Now, the candidature that we're talking about is not just only the presidential candidate, which is what all of us look at. But if there's no unity or love between the secretary and the chairman, who signs the list of aspirants that want to contest?
You see,
now, let me just finish. Now, after that, now they are trying to woo some all over the country.
Segment of the country.
Even not only one segment. Even look from the south. They are trying to make the governors come into APC. Is it the best way to govern?
That's where I'm going. You see, your question is very clear. First and foremost, the government of the day try to guard all political parties to ensure that there's no platform, because you see, it is only country where the only thing the government of the day thinks, especially this present government, is on how to abuse the law without being who responsible. We agree that the law is there. A clever man should look for a loophole of the law and use it to his advantage. That's what the government of the day is doing. You cannot hold them to say that they are responsible. The government of the day is very much aware that for any political party to present candidate for any elections, from councillor to local government election to houses of assembly to governor to house of rep, senate and the president, the national chairman of the political party and the national secretary are to conjointly sign the list that will be presented to INEC as candidate of the party. Now, what do they now do? They go into all the political parties that have this, that are viable, to cause confusion between the national chairman and the national secretary, to that extent that they never agree. So in all the major political parties that are viable, there are crises. In the national chairman on one side, the national secretary on the other side. This is what they have done. And to boost this, to get themselves well ready, first thing they did, they came up with a campaign between North and South that, look, the Northerners have agreed that they are not going to vote for a certain at this time. They are only going to vote for Northerners. So all the governors in the South, whether you're PDP or not, support your own. We are from the South. So the governors in the South started defecting to APC, which is their political party. Started from Delta State, then later Akwa Ibom State. So the reason is this. It's only APC that have a chairman and a secretary that can submit lists. If you don't want to defect, that means you don't want to. You have a
There's
platform,
no platform to contest.
You understand? That is, you see the strategy. But you cannot hold them to it that they are the cause of it. Why can't you put your party together? That's why the president said, I derive pleasure.
Other parties.
Yes, it gives him pleasure to see other parties in disarray. Although Akpabio came to say that, no, the president is not happy not to see the other political party in disarray, or whatever it is. The pleasure is that if there are no platform, then it is one-man show. So that is for that. So why do now they have done that is working in one segment of the country, and they find out that this might not necessarily work on the other segment. That is why they are not engaging those who are in the government, the government appointee, to go back and ensure
to the grassroots.
Yes, to ensure that they carry their people along. So because they must be vote from them. Don't forget that the former president said you don't expect somebody that voted for me 95% to get the same as somebody that have voted 5%. This could be the words, spoken to this appointee that push them to their Arawa's house.
Now, but one person in the north that always has been on the side of the president in a form is Shehu Sani. He's blaming the north that is failed leadership that has brought the north to where they are is not the president's fault. He disagrees with whether Baba-Ahmed or that's Hakeem or Dati or Derufai or any of, but he said the North also had a failed leadership system. Shehu, do you agree?
I totally agree with him because as someone who is there, I can testify. He is completely right. I mentioned some time ago, like very recently, I said, if it's possible to have the governors of the northern states after election, just the way we do, we transfer commissioners of police. If we can transfer the governors of the north to the south, then transfer the governors of the south
to the north,
just for a year. Just for a year. Why are we going too far? We have Abuja here, where since the return of democracy, all the ministers in FCT, apart from Erufai, all the ministers, one will come today, he said he want to ban prostitute. The other one will say, put a speak bomb on the highway. The other one will say, demolish shanties. The other one will say, if you smoke cigar. There was one that said, if you smoke cigar in public, they ban you. So smoke cigar in a full year tenure. What you think about is people smoking in public. You did not think of development. So what does that tell you?
One was after gardens.
One was after garden. Another one is only anybody that is working around, catch them. So what does that tell you? That these are some of the idea they have of development. In the first 2 years of Wike, I was driving around Nikon Junction. I was surprised. I've not been around there for some time. And then I asked myself, was there no minister before now? Allocation, you give allocation, you counter allocation. That was what some of them were doing. In fact, the immediate minister of FCT, I don't even know sometimes I don't even know his name. So what are we saying? The poverty nature in the north is so high that you go to a restaurant, you want to eat, you are eating, you just shift like this.
The food is gone.
Say, why I've not finished eating? Because the hunger in the land. The leaders are so happy to see people crowded in their environment, in their house. You go to Sokoto, I don't want to mention his name. Every morning you see like 100, 200 people in front of his gate, waiting for him to come out. And when he comes out, he just call, okay, give them this, give them that. So most of these leaders, they are after large numbers of followers. When you ask them, they tell you, I have followers, the numbers of followers I have. But have you empowered them? I am telling you, that's why sometimes when I listen to Obi talk about the vast land in the north and what we can achieve
with it,
I'm telling you, if you have not been there, you will not understand. Completely right. And for Shehu Sani to have said this, he is completely right. And I support him and I agree with him.
Okay, our time is really running. I don't know how much of that you can dwell on, but on a comic relief, kind of, that's what I say, that Adeleke is missing, and Hassan mocks Amaechi and says that we don't want to vote for a man that the wife is feeding. I mean, he can't take decision by himself. But first of all, the missing Adeleke.
well, it's interesting. You know, the missing Adeleke, in quote, is it true that Adeleke is actually missing? If the APC say Adeleke is missing, then what would they say of the president that has traveled, who at the point Obi came out with the artillery, 70 something days with within his time of his tenure. Adeleke is just leaving his office for the first time in 2 years or in 3 years. He's, for crying out loud, his nephew is getting married in the United States, and he just went for a family visit, unofficial, and you said it's missing. You see, it is easy to accuse person of a thing that you are culpable of, because the APC who is accusing Adeleke, which is the PDP government today, they are the greatest lawbreaker in respect of that. Where starting from Buhari to to Tinubu, the president will just be out of nobody mentioned anything about it, and power is not transmitted. They are the same people coming to say that Adeleke that just left few days ago is missing in action. It's laughable. You understand? It's very laughable. Now, when you come to the issue of Amaechi, before I go to that, they said, oh, we don't know if he transmitted power. Transmit power to who? Have their own government transmit power to anybody at all? Tinubu has traveled over 72 times. Has he transmit power to Shetima at any point in time? They should also ask themselves the question. When you come to the issue of Amaechi, it's very interesting. Amaechi is the person who put himself in jeopardy. He had told the whole world that his wife, indirectly, maybe he's trying to hide the loot that he had gotten from God. He said, oh, it is my wife who that is an entrepreneur, that what it means to say that is the one that has all the money they are spending. So I agree with what's his name again? Hassan.
Yes.
Hassan saying that, look, if it's your wife that is running the whole show for you, that is the charge of your life, then we cannot entrust you with the affair of this country.
With power. With
power, because what it portends is that when there's a decision to be made, you will wait for your wife to decide before you can take a decision. And that could amount to a danger. So I agree with Hassan completely.
Alaji, they say we don't want a man that a woman is feeding to be our president.
But every man, as a married man, your wife feed you. You cook the food for you, so it's comical anyway. Yeah. But the wife feed the food,
yes.
Cook the food.
But it's not that. He said my wife is an entrepreneur.
So for him to have come out and said that the wife is feeding him, we should understand it very clearly now. He was just being sarcastic, not saying that he's not the head of the home. But they will always look for a way to slam you, and that's exactly what they've done. I watched him, I listened to him when he was saying that Amaechi is somebody whose wife is feeding. Peter Obi is somebody who import alcohol. So we don't need this set of people. We cannot entrust Nigeria in the hands of a man who cannot be responsible to the home. And you ask yourself, look at the antecedent. What happened in Ibas State during the reign of Amaechi? Was the wife feeding him then? Was he taking care of the state? Did he do well? You ask yourself. Sometimes when somebody brings their CV, you look at their CV and ask yourself, what can they do? What have they done before? So these are things that they should check, not whether his present state, his wife is the one feeding him. I know it's just being sarcastic, just like you say, maybe he's hiding. But Adeleke, I think if he's missing, they should publish it in the national daily and say, please, wanted man looking for a governor. If you see him, he must dance. Please, we are looking for a man that normally dance. But this is with his, people say nephew, but it's his son, Davido. And it's family for him.
Family first.
Of course, let him go and dance there now.
And I can also tell you that we are going to see some dance steps come to...
I know he will reply with the dance step.
Well, time has really gone. But let's look at quickly the issue of Kenneth Okonkwo. He's saying that Obi's 8 years is political suicide. I mean, Obi has told us, I will do 4 years. The same way Mandela said, I will do 5 years. And he did 5 years because theirs is a 5 years tenure. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Yeah. Obi said that I'm going to do 4 years. So why are you gagging him and putting in his mouth that he's not going to fulfill what he said? But that's what he said. We should take him by what he said. I don't know why the thing is splitting their legs apart. Philip.
You see, for me, yes, Obi has said what he said, but we don't need Kenneth Okonkwo to re-echo it to us, because in recent time we cannot, vouch for Kenneth Okonkwo, because he speaks from both sides of his mouth. Today he's speaking. Today he has said he's suicidal. Tomorrow he might come out to say something different. Today he said it's Obi. Tomorrow it's Atiku. Next week. So when you bring the issue of Kenneth Okonkwo, I won't speak on it. But for the fact that for the issue of Obi doing, making mention of running for 4 years or 8 years is suicidal, that is very correct. Obi know very well that they will have an unwritten understanding between the North and the South, and part of it is that you do your 8 years and you let it move to the other side. But again, the Constitution do not say you will do 8 years. What is provided the Constitution is 4 years.
4 years tenure.
4 years tenure. Then, but you still have the right to stand for re-election, and that re-election is not guaranteed that you'll be elected. You understand? So what Kenneth is saying is something that is in the public domain, like he said. We may not be lawyer, but you read it, it is clear to everybody that there's no way that say you will do 8 years. Even if Obi come to say that he wants to do 8 years, the law will not allow him to say you will do 8 years. You will only do 8 years. After your 4 years, you stand for re-election, and if you are elected, then you can go for your 8 years.
All right, we can't go further than this. The Tigress came back and the president gave them what we wanted him to give to them. We're in an era of reward for people that are patriotic to Nigeria, that are standing with the country and flying the country's flag everywhere they go. I think it's going to be a motivation for anyone that goes out there to represent the country, that is going to come back and be giving something, even if it's an OON, you understand, and all that stuff. Then we also want to say, we say condolence to the Abiola family that lost one of Abiola's wife. I think her name is Doing. I can't remember now. But we send our condolence to the Abiola family. We can't go past this today, but we shall come your way tomorrow on Matters Arising. Make sure you tune in. Thank you.